Powe is done for the rest of the playoffs. ESPN.com NBA columnist, around the horn panelist Jackie McMullen. Jackie, what are you hearing in Boston?
Yeah, Chris, well, I just hung up with the Celtics officials, and the news is about as bad as it could be for the Celtics. Powe not only tore the meniscus, but he also tore his ACL, and another player goes down for the Celtics, who are, as we know, already very thin with Kevin Garnett out and Brian Scalabrine out. And a limited bench last night. It's only going to get worse now.
Who do they have? Who do you look to pick up the slack?
Well, it's starting to get tough because you moved Glenn Davis into Garnett's spot,
right.
and he's played so very well. But the problem is, he's an undersized center in that position, and he does get into foul trouble, and that's when you go to Powe. Now you're looking at Mikey Moore, who has been a contributor offensively to the Celtics, but really has struggled with their defensive rotations. And as we've talked about a lot in this series, the whole idea of defending the pick and roll is crucial to this series, and Moore has really struggled with that. So an already thin Boston bench gets a little thinner here today.
And then I guess it means that Rajon Rondo, he has no choice but to play. Is there any update on his injury? You said last hour you thought he'll just tape it up and go. Has anything changed there?
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's planning on doing. He's not going to miss any time. He's got a couple of days here to rest, ice, anti-inflammatories. There was never been any question whether Rondo would go last night or going forward here. He'll be in the lineup.
Okay, Jackie McMullen, ESPN.com NBA columnist, joining us with this breaking news. Powe is done for the rest of the postseason for the Celtics.